For that report now. We go back to our earlier story where in the United Kingdom, Labour Party has bounced back to power after defeating the Conservatives in Thursday's general election. The story has been compiled by our reporter, Timothy Otieno from London.
The political tectonic plates of the landscape here in the United Kingdom has taken a drastic shift in the last 12 hours after residents of the United Kingdom went to the ballot to vote for a new government. Vote they did and vote they have overwhelmingly to bring Labour back into power after 14 years of the Conservative Party's reign. Now, things began unfolding earlier this morning through a statement that came in from then Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, conceding and accepting defeat in this particular general elections. At 10 a.m. UK time, he did address the country in a press conference to the nation. And in that press conference, he expressly apologized to the nation for letting them down, and especially for all the members of parliament from the Conservative Party who have lost their seats, as well as apologizing to the supporters of the Conservative Party.
I have heard your anger, your disappointment, and I take responsibility for this loss. To all the Conservative candidates and campaigners who worked tirelessly but without success, I am sorry that we could not deliver what your efforts deserved. It pains me to think how many good colleagues who contributed so much to their communities and our country will now no longer sit in the House of Commons.
Now, in the afternoon, the new Prime Minister, Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer, did go to Buckingham Palace to have an audience with the King, King Charles III, formally requesting him to form a government on his behalf. And things have been moving quite swiftly here in Westminster. Just a few minutes ago, we were able to see a few of the politicians who are deemed to be part of Keir Starmer's close-knit circle and likely to be cabinet ministers going into 10 Downing Street before the press conference in the afternoon, where Keir Starmer did say he was going to be steering the country in the direction that it needed to have been steered, saying that change has finally arrived at 10 Downing Street.
We did it! You campaigned for it, you fought for it, you voted for it, and now it has arrived. Change begins now. And it feels good, I have to be honest. 4.5 years of work changing the party. This is what it is for. A changed Labour Party.
On the streets of London, opinions remain high. There's an air of optimism from the people we did speak to.
I'm happy that the Tories are out. I've been waiting for them to be out of office for a long time.
I feel that it's a new start for the country, which is quite exciting.
Of course, this win was expected because both the polls and the pundits had expected that Labour would win with a majority, but perhaps not as big of a majority as we were able to see. Labour securing 412 seats in the House of Commons, perhaps the highest since 1997 when Tony Blair was the Labour leader.
I think with Starmer you're going to get a more balanced approach, as in if he can help the working class cut taxes, I think he will do it probably within the first 2 years.
The Conservatives have suffered their worst defeat ever, just being able to hold on to about 121 seats in the House of Commons. The future of that party now remaining in limbo, with Rishi Sunak likely to get a successor very soon.
I think the premiership was stolen by Rishi because he plotted against Boris Johnson. And if anybody was going to or entitled to remove Boris Johnson and the Conservatives from power, it should have been the electorate by general election.
Election observers have hailed this particular process as one to be emulated across most democracies in the world. In Kenya, the delegation was led by Rarieda Member of Parliament, Otiende Amolo, who did speak to KTN News this afternoon.
Election in the UK is entirely based on trust. It is not so much based on the constitution like ours, because they don't have a constitution. It is not based on legislation. They have some legislation, but it's skeletal. And it's not based on the thousands of pages of regulations that we have. It is based on trust, accorded and achieved through hundreds of years.
The transition was sometimes silent, mostly subtle, and generally smooth. By 10 a.m., the former Prime Minister was offering an apology to the country and conceding defeat. By 5 p.m., the new Prime Minister was moving into 10 Downing Street to begin the work of change for the people of the United Kingdom. Timothy Otieno, KTN News in Westminster, London, the United Kingdom.
Thank you, Timothy, for